In 1995, a psychologist named Dr. Elizabeth Loftus walked into her lab at UC Irvine. She had a plan, a disturbing one. She was going to plant a memory, a completely false one, inside the minds of real people, without them ever knowing. Here's what she did. She contacted the families of volunteers, and she asked them, with quiet intensity, what are 3 true memories from this person's childhood? Then she took those 3 true memories, and she added a 4th one, a fake one. The memory? Being lost in a shopping mall at age 5, separated from your parents, scared, crying, until a kind old man found you. This event never happened. The families confirmed it. It was completely invented. Loftus then gave the participants a booklet. It contained all 4 memories, 3 real, 1 fake. She asked them to write down everything they could remember about each one. The results? 1 in 4 participants, 25%, not only believed the fake memory was real, they added details to it. They described the old man's face, the color of his shirt, what he said to them, for an event that never happened. Now ask yourself this. If 25% of people can be given a completely false memory in a controlled lab experiment, what has been happening to your memories every day of your life without a controlled lab? Today, we are going to answer that question with real science from real scientists, and the answer is going to change how you see your entire past. Welcome to Mind Magnet, where we take the science they teach in Harvard Neuroscience labs and bring it to you, clearly, honestly, and without the jargon. I am going to take you through 4 revelations today. Revelation 1. Memory is not a recording. It is a reconstruction, and every reconstruction has errors. Revelation 2. Every time you remember something, your brain physically rewrites that memory. This was proven by Dr. Karim Nader at McGill University in the year 2000. Revelation 3. Your memories can be implanted from outside your mind, by advertisers, by media, by the people around you. Revelation 4. There are 3 proven techniques to protect your memory from being rewritten, backed by cognitive neuroscience. Let us begin. In 1932, almost a century ago, a British psychologist named Frederick Bartlett at Cambridge University published one of the most important books in the history of psychology. It was called simply Remembering. Bartlett gave participants a Native American folk story to read, a complex, unfamiliar story full of strange details. Then he asked them to recall it, immediately. Then again after a few hours. Then again after days. Then again after weeks. What happened? Every single time they recalled the story, it changed. Unfamiliar details were dropped. Familiar details were added, ones that were not in the original. The story got shorter, simpler, more in line with what they already believed. Bartlett's conclusion in 1932: memory is not reproductive, it is reconstructive. You are not playing back a recording. You are rebuilding a story every single time. Here is what that means in neuroscience terms. When you experience something, your brain breaks the memory into fragments. The visual information goes to the visual cortex. The emotional information goes to the amygdala. The spatial information goes to the hippocampus. The factual information goes to the prefrontal cortex. These fragments are stored in different places across your brain. When you remember, your brain has to reassemble all those fragments, like putting together a puzzle, every single time. But here is the critical problem. What if some of the puzzle pieces are missing? Your brain does not leave blank spaces, it fills in the gaps. With what? With what it expects should be there. With what makes sense given your current beliefs. With information you received after the event. Dr. Daniel Schachter at Harvard calls this one of the 7 sins of memory. He calls it misattribution. When you remember the right information but attach it to the wrong source. The Innocence Project has exonerated over 375 wrongfully convicted people in the USA. In more than 69% of those cases, the conviction was based on eyewitness testimony. People went to prison, some to death row, because of how human memory works. Or, more accurately, because of how human memory fails. For most of the 20th century, scientists believed memory worked like this. You experience something, the memory gets consolidated, locked in, and from that point on, it is stable. Like writing in stone. This was accepted. The world believed this. This was the accepted science for decades. Then in the year 2000, a neuroscientist named Dr. Karim Nader at McGill University in Montreal ran an experiment on rats. And he broke everything. Here is what Nader did. He trained rats to fear a specific sound. Every time the sound played, they received a mild shock. After enough repetitions, the rats froze in fear every time they heard the sound, even without the shock. The fear memory was consolidated, locked in. Now here is where it gets disturbing. Nader took these rats, played the sound to activate the fear memory. The moment the memory was active, he injected a drug into the rats' brains that blocks the protein required to reconsolidate the memory. In other words, he interrupted the memory while it was being recalled. What happened? The memory was erased. The rats heard the sound that had terrified them for months, and they showed no fear. None. The memory was gone. Nader's discovery proved something that science had never accepted before. Every time you recall a memory, that memory becomes physically unstable. It has to be restored, re-encoded, put back into your brain. And in that window, that brief moment of instability, the memory can be changed. This process is called reconsolidation. And here is what it means for you. Right now, at this very moment, as you are watching this video, your most important memories are being reconstructed. Every time you think about your childhood, you are rewriting it. Every time you remember a conversation, you are editing it. Every time you think about a relationship, you are revising the story. And the version you believe is true is the most recent edit, not the original. So we now know that memory is reconstructive. We know that memories can be implanted. We know that memories rewrite themselves every time they are recalled. The next question is the one that should keep you up at night. Who has been exploiting this? Let us start with advertising. In 2002, researchers at the University of Washington, led by Dr. Elizabeth Loftus, conducted an experiment on Disney. They showed participants a fake Disney advertisement. The ad featured Bugs Bunny at Disneyland. Here's the thing. Bugs Bunny is not a Disney character. He is a Warner Brothers character. He could never have been at Disneyland. After viewing the ad, 16% of participants reported a vivid memory of shaking hands with Bugs Bunny at Disneyland. A memory that was literally impossible. The advertisement had implanted a false memory in 16% of people with a single exposure. Now think about how many advertisements you have been exposed to in your entire lifetime. Thousands, tens of thousands, by teams of psychologists to attach emotional content to their brand. When you feel nostalgic about a brand, that nostalgia may not be real. It may be manufactured. In 2025, researchers at MIT published a paper titled "Slip Through the Chat." They tested whether AI chatbots could inject false memories into users through normal conversation. Participants who interacted with a misleading AI chatbot recalled the highest number of false memories compared to all other conditions, and had the lowest confidence in their real memories. Let that sink in. A chatbot, in a normal conversation, can make you doubt your real memories and accept false ones. We are living in the most memory-manipulative environment in the history of human civilization. Social media shows you algorithmically selected content designed to trigger emotional responses that attach to your memories. News media uses charged language that reshapes how you remember events you witnessed. Political campaigns use repetition to make false narratives feel familiar, and familiar things feel true. Your memory is being rewritten every single day by systems that understand neuroscience better than you do. Before we get to the solutions, I want to tell you about the most important person in the history of memory science. His name was Henry Molaison, but scientists knew him simply as HM. In 1953, Henry was 27 years old. He suffered from severe epilepsy. Seizures so bad they were destroying his life. His doctors made a decision. They would remove a structure deep in his brain called the hippocampus, on both sides. The surgery worked, the seizures stopped. But something else happened. Henry lost the ability to form new memories, permanently. He could remember everything before the surgery, his childhood, his family, the world as it was in 1953. But from the moment he woke up from surgery, every new experience lasted only seconds. His doctors met him every day for 30 years. Every day, he did not recognize them. Every morning he woke up, it was 1953. But here is the beautiful and heartbreaking part. Researchers taught Henry new motor skills, how to trace a star while looking in a mirror, a difficult task. Every day he practiced. Every day he had no memory of practicing. But every day he got better. His hands remembered, even when his conscious mind had no idea why. Henry Molaison taught us that memory is not one thing. It is many things, in many places, working in ways we do not consciously access. He died in 2008, at the age of 82, having contributed more to neuroscience than almost any other person in history. And he never knew it. Every day he forgot. Okay, you now understand that your memory is reconstructive, that it rewrites itself, that it can be manipulated from outside. So what do you do with that? Here are 3 techniques, backed by cognitive neuroscience, to protect the integrity of your memory. Technique 1. Write it down immediately. Memory research consistently shows that the most accurate version of a memory is the one recorded closest to the original event. Dr. Schachter at Harvard calls this external memory support. Your phone's Notes app is more reliable than your brain. Your journal is more accurate than your recollection. After important conversations, After important events, write what happened, date it, keep it. This gives you an anchor, a version of the memory before reconsolidation began. Technique 2. Be suspicious of vivid memories. This sounds counterintuitive. We trust vivid memories more than hazy ones. But research shows the opposite should be true. The Loftus experiments showed that implanted false memories often come with vivid sensory details, precisely because the brain filled in those gaps with emotionally compelling fabrications. Confidence in a memory does not predict its accuracy. Ask yourself, when did I last think about this memory? Who else was there? What information did I receive afterwards that might have changed what I remember? Technique 3. Control your information environment. The MIT 2025 research showed that misleading information in normal conversation is enough to implant false memories. The media you consume, the conversations you have, the people you spend time with, all of these are providing post-event information that is being integrated into your memories right now. This does not mean become paranoid. It means become intentional. Notice when a narrative is being repeated to you. Notice when someone is telling you what you experienced, rather than asking. Notice when media is using charged language about events you were not present for. Your memory is yours. Defend it. You do not remember the past. You reconstruct it. And every reconstruction is a little more you and a little less truth. You do not remember the past. You reconstruct it. And every reconstruction is a little more you and a little less truth. Here is your mind magnet challenge for this week. Think of your earliest memory. Write it down, every detail you can remember. Then call or message the person who was there. Ask them what they remember. Compare the two versions. I promise you, they will be different, sometimes dramatically. And that difference, that gap between your version and theirs, that is reconsolidation at work. That is your brain rewriting your past in real time. I want to hear what you find. Drop your earliest memory in the comments right now. Be honest, I reply to every single one. And if this episode changed how you see your own mind, share it with one person who needs to hear this. Because this is information that should not be kept quiet. Your memory is not your enemy. It is one of the most remarkable systems in the known universe. The fact that it reconstructs rather than records allows you to be flexible, allows you to forget trauma, allows you to reframe the past. But it also makes you vulnerable. Now you know. Next week, we go somewhere most neuroscientists do not talk about publicly. We go to your gut. There is a second brain in your stomach, 500 million neurons. It communicates with your actual brain through the vagus nerve. And it may be controlling your emotions, your decisions, your mood, more than your brain is. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. I will see you next week. Stay curious. Stay awake. This is Mind Magnet.